to the grid. You're ready for this?
Without doubt, the best place for overtaking.
What an incredible weekend.
We've seen history made.
Disaster for him and his teammates.
Now this is a game changer.
It's a crucial race.
Hello everybody, welcome to Paddock Uncut from round 2 here in the desert in Bahrain. Normally, as you know, Ted Kravitz would be handling duties, but he's not with us this weekend. Delighted to announce the birth of his third daughter, Albertine Slothover. Slothover, of course, being his real name. He is now well and truly surrounded. So in his absence, myself, David Croft, and Rachel Brooks handling matters in the paddock on Thursday. And this is what a few of the drivers had to say.
How much of your 200 Grand Prix worth of experience went into your win in Australia? What did you do in that virtual safety car period to influence that victory?
Well, I think it starts already before. I mean, first of all, obviously, I lost a bit the connection to Lewis and Kimi. So I was probably, I think I was 3.5 seconds behind, so not really a threat. Even by undercutting, you know, they both had enough time. So, you know, at that point then, you know, we decided to stay out, and then obviously, you know, I tried to make the tires last and still squeeze as much as I had to stay sort of in range in case something happened. And looking back, fortunately, something did happen. Then I think there's not that much you can do. You obviously try to come back to the pits within the limits of the FIA timing, and then do a perfect pit stop. So push as hard as you can on the way in, stopping for the line, etc. That's what I try to do, and I was very happy, obviously, when I came out ahead. Obviously, I didn't know, I have a rough idea about the delta, but I didn't know at the time I went in how much seconds I was in front of Lewis and whether it's going to be enough or not. But doesn't matter. You try to do everything, and that's what I tried. I think, you know, for sure a certain amount of experience helps, but also it's needless to say that we got lucky as well. On the other hand, there were races last year where it was the other way around, and we should have won and we didn't. But I think that's how it goes, and most important is that we were there. There was a chance and we used it.
Kimi, the fastest man in a Ferrari last time out, and it didn't bring you the race win. Are you going to go a bit slower this weekend?
No. I mean, you know, sometimes it can go your way or against you, but to be honest, it goes against you, and we are third place. We are 1 and 3. I think we are more than happy to take it, and you know, there's so many things that small things that might change the end result. So you know, I'm pretty happy how things went and how smooth everything was, how the feeling was. So you know, we keep doing our stuff and see what happens.
Where do you think the Ferrari is going to be this weekend? I mean, obviously the team won from not from pole last year. A lot of people are expecting Ferrari to have an easier weekend of it than Mercedes, perhaps.
I don't know. Who knows? We've been in 2 different places, 2 complete different conditions so far. This place is opposite to both of those in the layout and weather. So we have to wait and see. We do our own stuff and see where we are tomorrow, Saturday, and especially Sunday after the race. Then we know. But yeah, it's impossible to say.
The team got to the bottom of exactly what happened and the glitch that meant that you lost out on the win in the first race?
Yeah, I think everyone's fully understood it, and hopefully it won't happen again. I don't think there was really a glitch. It was just workings that we got to work on.
The track record of the team around here, excuse the pun, the record for the team, no one else has put it on pole since 2013 other than a Mercedes driver. 3 wins out of the last 4 races here. It's going to be an easy weekend, isn't it?
Well, firstly, I don't think there's ever been an easy weekend, and the cars are a lot closer than people seem to think. So I think this weekend, if you look at last year, went from the first race to the second race, I think everyone was a lot closer in this weekend, so I anticipate it's going to be interesting to see. The Ferraris always go well here. We didn't win the race last year, I don't believe, so it's going to be something similar this year. It's going to be close between us all.
Is it a good track for you to come to after last time out in Australia? You got your first pole here last year. You got some good memories.
Yeah, good memories, but need to remember we start from zero again. You know, it's a completely new race weekend. You need to perform again. But yeah, it's good to have that in the back of my mind. That it was good last year. So yeah, after disappointing Melbourne for sure, I've been waiting for this one.
What are you expecting from the race this weekend for the Mercedes? I know people talk about overheating, but it is cooler by the time the race starts.
Yeah, it is more difficult with the temperatures here, but like you said, you know, it is cooler in the race. Tire compounds are a little bit harder than in Melbourne, so I don't think it's going to be a massive issue.
Do you think you're up there to challenge Mercedes? Do you think you're in and around that pace? Where do you think you'll be here?
They will be very quick in qualifying, and in the race we just have to wait and see how the degradation of the tires are, on this track, and yeah, we'll try our best again.
Is that your best option, to hope that they suffer from tyre wear on the rears and you can do something about it, or is it using the strategy? What's your best hope?
It's a bit difficult to say really at the moment. We haven't done a practice session here and see how competitive we are, but yeah, looking at last year when the tyres were still a bit stiffer than what they are now, they were struggling a bit, but of course everybody changed the cars and maybe it's going to be a little bit different, so we just have to wait and see, I guess.
There are some paddock observers that have said there's been a magic wand applied to Haas. What do you put these improvements down to?
Well, should I get the stick, magic sticks? I think it's work. I mean, last year we abandoned pretty early the 2017 cars, focused on 2018 because we knew we wanted to go to a different philosophy, and the boys have made a really good job. Obviously, we've got a Ferrari in the gearbox, Ferrari engine and Ferrari gearbox and suspension that we don't need to design. That's great, but then the car, we still need to build it and to find what's the best for us. So I'm very proud of the work that has been done, during the last year and the winter. I think the baseline is very good. It'll be interesting to see how it goes here. It's a very different circuit from what we've had over the last winter testing in the last race. But if we can keep fighting at the front, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet it is. I mean, you could have had two cars in the top six. Obviously, you've had to address the issues that you had at the pit stops. What was the mood in the team like? What did you do to pick up some of the mechanics, and how have you changed things around?
Yeah, I think the mood is pretty good. Obviously, we need to build the confidence back up, but I'm not worried that we're going to be good. Last year, we were always in the top 10 of the fastest pit stop of the race, so it's going to be all right. And no, the boys are now practicing more than we did in Melbourne. We just didn't have the time, preparing the cars and so on, and things went a bit out of. Well, unfortunately, in the race we had 2 DNF due to that, but. I'm sure with the practice that we're now putting in place and the few changes, it's not going to be a problem anymore, and I'm actually looking forward to go racing.
It looks like it's going to be incredibly tight in the midfield. Haas are way up the road at the moment. How are you going to manage to catch them up, those potentially with bigger budgets than you?
Yeah, but I mean, last year, us, I think they qualified 6th, we qualified 14th and 12th, so it was not ideal either. Here we had a tough moment as well last year, but it's where you end up the season which is the most important, not where you are in the beginning. There's 20 more races to go. Of course, that's where we are here. We have plenty of work to do, but still a long way.
A great result in Australia, but a team result as well, I guess, because they reacted well when saw Grosjean stop, got you in, and it all came together.
Yeah, it was good race, definitely a good result for us to start the championship. Obviously, after the winter, we have some positive feedback, but at the same time, some reliability issues that slow down a little bit the progress of the car. And then in Australia, I think we delivered the result. Obviously, lucky with the 2 Haas retirements and the virtual safety car, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good start. And now we need to see how we can close the gap with the top teams. We need more new parts than them and faster than them, because obviously they will keep updating the car as well, and we need to outperform there on outside the track.
Have you been able to bring anything this weekend?
Yeah, we have some new parts here, so we will evaluate them tomorrow in the free practice, and hopefully they are positive, and we race with them, and that will be, I think, the trend of the season. Every weekend try to bring new parts and try to close that gap.
I know Fernando wants to chase Red Bull and be ahead of that midfield pack. Where do you think you are right now as we head into the second race?
It's still a bit early to say. Like we said, I think we, first of all, should try and get clear of like the midfield. Let's say we're not quite there yet. We know we're in this group, which is very tight, and I think could potentially turn around a bit race to race based. Bahrain is very different to Melbourne, so we have some updates coming here this weekend as well. Hopefully they will give us a bit of lap time, and like I said, every 10th we can gain will hopefully push us a bit further up.
Some long straights around here in the old Honda engine. That would have been something to fear, but with the engine you've got in it now, are you looking forward to this race more maybe?
Well, last year I didn't even manage to start here, so I'm definitely looking forward to a better weekend, yes.
That's going to be a pretty sweaty shoey though, isn't it, if you get it this weekend?
Oh, I don't mind, I really don't. I think it's still early to kind of predict all the pecking order, but sure, I'm coming here confident that if we got the car we can do it, and yeah, it's been a while since I've done a shoey, and sweatier the better. Come on, give me some form of stomach bacteria or something.
You had a
No, don't. I'm just kidding. I don't want that.
You had a storming race last time out, and I mean you got as far as P4. How difficult is it to overtake in these cars? And we have this meeting tomorrow between the team bosses and Liberty. If you could be in there, what would you be saying to them?
I think, I've been asked a couple times, and I guess everyone's, I don't know if everyone's on the same page, but for sure we want to be able to race harder, and there will be some tracks where, if that was on a different track, I probably would have been able to get Kimi, but it's just the nature of the track. But there is other tracks like that, so there will be other races which is going to be hard to do anything. So I think, just following another car. I kind of said it's even little things, but having the cars wider now gives you less room on the track to find that clean air. So even that alone, I mean, there's a lot of disturbance regardless, but even just having a wider car doesn't help. So I think they look cooler and they're faster, but it doesn't quite help the racing. So that's something I would, look, it's not a quick fix, but it's something I would at least address and see what ways are potentially around that down the track.
We're going to hear what Liberty's plans are for 2021 and beyond on Friday. Are you guys, the drivers, excited about this, and do you think you'll have a voice if you don't like what comes down from on high, or will you be willing to help work with them?
I definitely think we will have a voice, and hopefully we can work together with FIA, with Formula One, with Liberty, to try to make the sport a lot more competitive and to improve the show.
I don't think we've had much of a say in terms of what Liberty is going to recommend soon, but depends what they recommend. Then it will be maybe nice to affect or not. I don't know, but
what
yeah.
would you like to see more of?
Well, I don't want to speculate. I think just the only thing what everyone would like to is more close racing. More wheel-to-wheel action, but how to do that, that's not in my hands.
Well, I think everybody has more or less the same ideas. If it's going to work out, I don't know, but we want more overtaking, I guess, and the teams, that they all get a bit closer together.
Well, with no Ted Kravitz, three of us doing the job of one titan of a man. I know he's probably sat on his couch back home critiquing the job that we did. Nevertheless, what did you make, Rachel, of those that you spoke to today? Lewis, Valtteri, Mercedes, everyone, after what happened in Australia?
Firstly, look at the size of the notebook I have to use to just cover up for what
pages thick.
Just so huge. Good. It was weird. Lewis, I spoke to him and said, how are you feeling? And he was all up. And as soon as you talk about cars and racing, goes very quiet. Max is keeping his counsel. Short answers from Max Verstappen. Danny Ricciardo's in a really good mood. He's looking forward to this weekend. And everyone seems to think they've got a bit of a chance, but no one wants to say anything until they get out on track. And obviously until they run, and we won't know until tomorrow night, will we, when they properly run in the right conditions.
Exactly. I mean, I spoke to Romain Grosjean and the two Force India guys. Obviously, everybody knows there that it is very, very tight in the midfield. Romain himself, I mean, I think they were quietly impressed with what they did down under in Melbourne, but they know they're going to have their work cut out to stay at the front of that midfield pack.
They are, and McLaren are eyeing up the front of the midfield pack. Stoffel doesn't think they're quite up to trying to catch Red Bull at the moment, which I know was Fernando's target. He says that our target right now is to be at the front of that midfield pack and prove it this weekend. And drivers being drivers, when you ask them about the big edict coming down from Liberty for 2021, half of them knew what was going on and the other half thought, what's going on? There's going to be some new rules, are there? Max said more overtaking, and I think we'd all like to see that, wouldn't we? Especially from him. So yeah, that's what he says they all want. They are keeping their counsel. Thanks very much for enjoying Paddock Uncut. Don't worry, Kravitz will be back in China. From us all here, bye for now.
Sky Sports F1. Feel it all.